has to deal with Andrew Yang.
Oh, good. We got a Yang story. This complete. If you wanted a Yang story, this is like the trifecta of everything we covered.
Yep.
Yang, so this is from The Hill. Andrew Yang slams lack of speaking time during the debate. This is from a post that he shared on social media. Hashtag MSNBC. You should call it actually hashtag MSDNC. Fears Yang because we can turn seconds into substance. And he concluded that video highlighting some of his comments during the event on Wednesday night in Atlanta, the fifth debate. Basically went on to say, don't worry, MSNBC, this isn't the end. When the video caption reads. And basically, much of the speaking time on that debate night was mostly focused on Senator Elizabeth Warren, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and former Vice President Joe Biden. They had the most speaking time. Bernie Sanders came in fourth place, with Tulsi Gabbard going slightly above Tom Steyer, and Andrew Yang, I believe, was at the bottom. They were supposed to say that the debates were supposed to be equal time, but Andrew Yang did not have a question to answer until 32 minutes into the debate and had the shortest amount of speaking time of the 10 candidates, 6 minutes and 43 seconds, which is appalling. I believe that Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, and yes, everyone else should have equal fair speaking time to speak at this debate. I know it's 2 hours, but it's really the moderator's fault. Screwed that up. It's the moderator's fault for showing their clear favoritism towards Senator Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and Vice President Joe Biden. I mean, remember, this is MSNBC we're talking about. Similar to like CNN, ABC, CBS, they're going to favor the corporate candidates over anyone else that wants to bring in change. Now, perhaps as the candidates start dwindling out, as the candidates start, maybe we'll see more speaking time. I mean, I'm very curious to see who will make it to the 6th Democratic debate stage. But as it stands right now, former Vice President Joe Biden is on the 6th debate stage. Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Senator Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, and then Senator Elizabeth Warren. These are the candidates that are on the debate stage right now. And, for Andrew Yang being an entrepreneur, I really feel that there's a sad amount of neglect by corporate media going after him, and corporate media is once again clearly showing its hypocrisy. Also, we got a super chat from Duck Moore. State Department says 50 nations recognize Guaido. The UN has 193 nations. That means 75% of the world recognizes Maduro, not Guaido. Hand clap. Emoji, hands in the air. Well, that's
yes,
very
but
true.
The prevailing narrative is sorry. Yeah, we're gonna
hold on.
But the prevailing narrative is obviously, it's not a legitimate presidency. He's a dictator. All these terrible things. He did horrible things. The reason that they have problems is because he mismanaged the oil. He never should have privatized the oil. Blah 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 blah. And it completely obfuscates the fact that we've taken over Citgo and basically stolen billions of dollars worth of goods from Venezuela. It ignores the sanctions, it ignores the embargo, it ignores the multiple other institutions that verified the results of their elections. It ignores the fact that their constitution allows for a lot of the things that they claim are wrong. This constituent assembly that you called for, it's like that's part of their constitution. It allows him to do that. I'm sorry you don't like how their government works, but this isn't about how this other government works. This is about this country has an internal consistency with how it's operating, and we don't get to dictate like a dictator other nations' government.
Yeah.
Like the United States clearly has a problem with governments that do not acquiesce to its every demand.
Right. Yeah.
So I
just want to say very quickly. I know, but I just want to say very quick on that with Yang that Yang, had a great. He had like 6 minutes, right? He had like almost no time. He made great use of that time.
That was very off topic. Sorry, I got to go.
He used that time really well. This is going to look really well when we clip. He did a great job. I especially liked the way he talked about, what was it? Family leave that he was talking about. We have it basically us in New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea.
I love when people frame things that way. It's like get regular people that don't understand the situation and go, that's it. It's us in New Guinea that don't do this. Americans work so hard for so long and get so little. At least when like in Japan where they're completely overworked, they get overtime. And, they get to hang out with their boss after work. I'm not sure that's a plus or not. But
Yeah.
It is something.
Again, so just my final thoughts, and granted, I got my thoughts on Venezuela, but we won't go.
Sorry about
that. Andrew Yang, in regards to him not having much speaking time, I felt it was really unfair. And you know what? Yeah, he has every right to call out the hypocrisy of corporate media because we need the candidates to do that. Even Tulsi Gabbard's camp did the same thing too. They called out the fact that, oh, wait, once again, the media is showing its favoritism. So, Paul, putting the ball in your court, what are your thoughts on how the moderators handled the speaking time, and is Andrew Yang on point on this?
And Andrew Yang is certainly on point. It's not the biggest message. I think if you can only count on 6 minutes of talking time, I don't know if that's where I would spend those 6 minutes. It's not a bad choice. It's a particular strategic choice. And I mean, he kind of knows going into it that he's going to, I mean, it's happened in every debate prior. He's not going to get favorable talking time. He's not going to be called on when he has something to say to interject in someone else, like Kamala Harris being called on, even though her name was not invoked when Tulsi Gabbard spoke. I think it was a fine strategic play.
So I just want to say real quick on that. So also, I think that the only misstep he did was like the
Russia
following in the McCarthyism with like
Russia.
I tell Putin that his guy is gone. It's like Putin would know that. I mean, he watches TV too, doesn't he?
Putin's probably not going to care.
So
I think
That was pandering, and to me felt
but
flat.
overall, Yang. I mean, it's maybe it'll be easier because he's going to make later debates. He has his own machine. He has like. I want to say, like, I credit our team. Like, a year ago when he joined, we said he was going to be the wild card, and he's holding up that. So good job, Yang. Keep it up.
So I think that's for a final note. To quote Bernie Sanders when he was interviewed by Joe Rogan on his show, the debates are demeaning, and they are demeaning. Look at how they treat progressives. Look at how they treat Senator Bernie Sanders. Look at how they treat Representative Tulsi Gabbard, and look at how they treat Andrew Yang. But all three of those candidates are gaining momentum. They're gaining crowds, and they have a huge, powerful influence on social media, which is the future, which is what independent media is all about.